Our first presenter would be engineer Mahmud Hussain. He is the civil engineer and resident administrator of Virginia Department of Transportation. Mr. Hussain is an alumni from BUET, where he did his bachelor's and master's degree. Then he also worked for WAPDA in Bangladesh. He also has tremendous experience in the field, including countries such as Nigeria, India, Pakistan, and of course Bangladesh and the United States. Anyways, I would like to welcome Mr. Engineer Hussain.
What is going to happen once the water is stored and blocked? We are in the downstream, they are in the upper stream. Once the water is blocked, the water is going to limited. As a result, this Sylhet, the division along with some neighboring district will be affected and impacted. The river will get dry. All the species living, including fish and everything, will shrink and die perhaps. So construction of these dams will deprive Bangladesh of its share of international water because this is an international river. So that's the thing, that it is not that India alone can unilaterally decide to do something that is going to create an impact on the neighboring country. Millions of people are dependent on the supply of water from the Borak River for fishing and agricultural, that you know. So it will dry up not only Shurma, Kushiara, and any other link rivers, canals in that area. The dam once commissioned, it will seriously affect, as I said, the agricultural during winter season. And then it will bring, as I said, negative ecological impact to all the species. Because almost it says 6 to 7% population living in that area will be affected. So 6 to 7% population of 150 million you can think of. And their chain effect. If they are affected, then you and I are suffer. The produce that we prepare, they send it to the market. When market do not get produce built by the, coming from their garden, the price automatically goes up. So it affects everyone. I would suggest that Bangladesh government should give it a top priority and get the ministries involved for a collective action. Bangladesh and India needs to have bilateral discussion on it to ensure that the interest of both parties is preserved.
Our next speaker is Dr. Saidul. He is the faculty at College of William and Mary, Virginia, environmental sociologist. He did his PhD from York University, Canada. Being an environmental sociologist, he wrote a diverse range of issues related to environment. He would talk today on the ecological and social disaster of Tipaimukh Dam.
The whole dam will be, blocking an international river, which is, kind of Borak, Surma, Kushiara. This is the line of rivers. So we know that Bangladesh has, Bangladesh is sharing water with India with around 53 rivers linked to India. And we know that there is a Geneva Convention that if there is any international river that crosses different countries, so no country has any right to block the natural flow of water system. So we see that India exactly did violated this Geneva Convention in case of Parka, and they are going to do another thing in case of Tipaimukh. So let us see some of the ecological cost. Bangladesh is getting around 7 to 8% of its total water from Borak, the river that they are going to block. So if they block the water, then of course millions of people living in Sylhet, greater Sylhet and also surrounding areas will be deprived from the water source. So hundreds of water bodies in Sylhet will be deprived, and then it will actually kill Meghna and all common rivers which are linked to Meghna River. We know that not only that, it will dry up Surma and Kushiara rivers in winter season. And we see that one of the experts says that it will basically create an environmental disaster like northeastern green fertile soil will turn into dry wasteland because of this barrage. It will also disrupt irrigation, agriculture, drinking water supply, and navigation because this is exactly what is happening because of Farakka. So 6 to 7 months dry condition will stop a lessen recharge of groundwater, right? Because if the water flow is not there, then of course it will not recharge the groundwater. So when groundwater will be very low, then that will also affect other things. Like it will affect all dark wells, shallow and tube wells. Then so the conclusion is that it will be another Farakka or even worse than Farakka. So agriculture that depends on surface as well as groundwater will be affected seriously because of this dam. And it will destroy fisheries, wildlife in numerous harbors and low-lying areas in the entire Sylhet division and some peripheral areas of Dhaka division. So probably if the dam is built, this is a picture of that particular area, you'll probably after a couple of years, you'll no longer see these beautiful pictures in Sylhet. So not only lowering down the groundwater, but it will also drastically affect weather and climate because all things are related to one another, and will turn a wet, cooler habitat into a hot, uncomfortable cauldron. So the final effect will be massive siltation. That means since the flow will not be there, so the siltation will be there. And when there is rainy season, it will create massive flood, and also the seawater will be entering, so it will create salinity. So these are some of the potential ecological costs, and the social costs are also very tremendous. For example, loss of employment and livelihoods because many people are living on water sources like transportations. The farmers will be having trouble with agricultural activities, so that will basically generate a massive loss of employment and livelihoods. Then massive migration and planet of slums because we know that water is life. If there is no water, then people will have to move somewhere else in search of water. Then food crisis and massive poverty. Since the whole agricultural productivity will be massively affected, then of course that will create food crisis and massive poverty. And one of the accounts shows that every year Bangladesh will be losing up to $30 billion of ecological capital. So that's a massive amount. Even though Bangladesh will get electricity from India, but this kind of cost will never be recuperated. And Bangladesh government was told that if you allow us to do it, probably we will share some electricity or something like that. Okay, but the adverse ecological and social destruction will be tremendous. And finally, it will create an adverse political control by India, right? Because if they can control the people of that particular region. We have to do something because this is a kind of life and death issue. We may not understand it now, but after a couple of years, it will be a kind of life and death issue. We know that there is a convention called UN Convention on Non-Navigational Use of International Water Courses. And 24 countries actually ratified it, but India did not. But we know that use of water, blocking water, from an international river is of course, goes against one of the